Hey everybody, this is JJ, and just out here spending some time in the woods with my boys today, doing a couple of videos, checking out a pretty cool air rifle, doing all kinds of stuff. And I thought this would be a really good time to go ahead and do some field testing on the Extreme Survival Knife. Butch down at South Blade sent this out for me to take a look at, and I can tell you what my initial impressions are, is that I'm pretty impressed with it. It is a pretty beefy knife. I'm going to do a tabletop review too, so I'll really kind of talk about the sheath and the specifics on the knife and everything like that in the tabletop. Try to save some time and actually just get into the field testing though. This is a look at the knife, brand new. Haven't used it really yet at all. It is 1/4 of an inch thick, 1095 carbon steel. Got a coating over it and all that. Kind of a plasticish handle, plastic rubberized kind of handle. Feels pretty good in the hand so far, but the real test will be after we've done some work with it. So with that, let's go ahead and get going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and beat down through this piece of wood. You can see it's got a knot in the middle there, so it's not a perfect piece of wood. Should work fairly well for us. Now, as you guys know, doing this is basically kind of simulating having to build a fire in an emergency situation where you don't have any other dry wood around or anything like that. You just got to beat down into the wood to find the dry stuff. Really like the blade shape as far as the tip goes and the back of it for doing this. I also like the length. Nice. Seemed to do pretty well there. And so far the finish is doing all right. I mean, it's got some scuffs on it, but it's not doing too bad. Let's do another piece. Bam. Another one. Yeah, this thing definitely makes easy work of this on a split wood fire. It's a little longer than the BK2, which I've done another review on that. You guys can take a look at that if you want. And I like that extra length for the wilderness survival tasks. Alright, we'll try a little bit of just kind of splitting it on the end, like that. Seems to do that fine. The tip is sharp enough to kind of bear down and do that twist splitting. It is pretty thick though. The tip's pretty thick. That's good because it'll last longer that way. But it does make it, you know, not quite as good for some of this type of splitting. Okay, let's go ahead and get some feather sticks. Hold still there, buddy. So it is doing the feather sticks, but kind of having a hard time getting a good fine cut with it, and I think that may be because the bevel is pretty thick. If it was sharpened with a more narrow bevel, I think it would probably do a little better than it is, but I may have just had some bad pieces of wood, so let me try some more. That's doing a little better. There we go. So now we're getting some better feather sticks out of it. Got a little better piece of wood. It is still, you can tell that the bevel is still pretty wide though. Alright, let's take a look and see if we can get some shavings out of this. When I do these heartwood shavings, what I do is I basically pinch the blade, making sure not to bring your fingers in front of it. I pinch it with the left hand and I'll control with the right. And all I'm doing really is just adding downward pressure. Holding it kind of at about a 45, running it down. Nice long strokes if you can. If you get something in your way, just chip it off. Alright, that's going to make some pretty good tinder. So far the handle feels pretty good. I don't notice any real rough spots or anything. It's pretty beefy. I mean, it really is pretty big in the hand. I mean, if you see my fist, I mean, it barely goes all the way around the handle. It's a pretty good sized knife. Alright, let's try something else. Alright, so some of you guys might be a little appalled at what I'm about to do, but the reality is, in a wilderness survival situation, you might have to do a lot of different things with your knife, and digging a hole could be one of them. If you had to dig a seepage basin or seepage well to get water or something like that, a knife like this is going to be able to work for you pretty well. And what it also does is it also kind of gives us an idea of the additional edge retention and that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to dig down here a little bit, and again, not something that you would always have to do, but you could in an emergency. You might have to chop through ice or, you know, something in a similar nature as this. So I'm just going to kind of see how it does. You know, obviously there's little rocks and sand and roots and all that kind of stuff in here, and it's not good for a knife to do this, but the other reason you might need to do something like this is if you were gonna try to pull up cordage, you know, kind of like this, then you might need to dig it out. Roots can, right kind of trees and stuff like that, make pretty good cordage. So there are reasons why in an extreme situation you might have to do this. It does pretty good. It's got a wide blade, so that's nice. Kind of helps pull the stuff back, you know. Also kind of curious to see how this finish holds up as well. So far it's doing pretty good. Okay, you get the idea. And it's gone through a little abuse. So that's good. Let's take a look and see how it's holding up. If I were going to change anything on this, what I would change is I would make the handle a little bit narrower. It's pretty big, and I can feel my wrist kind of, you know, getting tired from gripping on that thing a little bit. Just a little smaller in diameter would be good for me. Everybody's got different size hands. I've got kind of medium-sized hands. But the SCHF9 Extreme Survival Knife is a pretty good tool. It really is for the wilderness survival stuff. The blade is long enough that it's going to allow you to do split wood fires pretty good. It's going to leave, you know, enough sticking out of there where you can do a 3 or 4 inch size piece of wood pretty easily. It does the twist splitting okay. It does feather sticks okay. It does shavings fine. Didn't have any problems with any of that stuff. You know, as far as like stripping bark and stuff, it's not as good at some of those smaller, finer tasks. Did good at digging. So all around, I think it's really a pretty good deal. I would probably put this at about a 9 out of 10 stars for wilderness survival type tasks. And I would add that in an urban survival type situation, this would probably be about the same. About a 9 out of 10. 1/4 inch thick, 1095 steel is awesome. So how is it looking? That's one of the things that you guys probably want to know. I mean, after the abuse we've given it so far today, I'm actually very impressed at how the finish is holding up. Like compared to how the cold steel finish held up, I mean, this is way better. I mean, I didn't do a lot of stuff with this today, but I definitely did enough that I thought I would see some more problems. So anyway, guys, as always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And keep an eye out for the tabletop review. I will do that and cover all the specifics as well.
Daddy!
What's up, buddy? Watch that hole. You want to fill that in for me?
Fill it what?
Can you fill that hole in real quick?
What? Dirt?
Yeah, put the dirt back in the hole so nobody sprains their ankle. There we go.
How do you mean spray? What's spray mean?
Spraying. That's when you hurt your ankle when you twist it. So anyway, guys, don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe. And don't forget to go down and check out Southblade. Like I said, Butch sent this down to me, and it's a cool knife. I like it a lot, and I really appreciate him sending it. And one of you guys will get to have it soon.
I bet your people are watching this today.
Today? I think they're watching it right now.
And then,
we're broadcasting live.
yeah.
And we're not live.